What if you could become someone she literally can't stop thinking about? Not just a passing thought, but a recurring presence in her mind. The kind that makes her check her phone, replay conversations, and wonder what you're really about. If you think that's just movie fantasy, you're wrong. It's applied psychology. And today, I'm giving you the exact 3-word phrases, backed by science, that tap directly into the subconscious part of her mind that drives attraction, obsession, and deep connection. But a warning, these are powerful. Use them with integrity. Ready? Let's dive in. First, let's diagnose the standard problem. You're texting. You're asking, "How was your day?" You're giving compliments, and you're getting crickets or one-word replies. You feel like you're just noise in her notifications. Why? Because you're likely speaking to her conscious, logical mind, the part that's busy, stressed, and sorting through 1,000 inputs. Your goal is to bypass that and speak directly to her subconscious mind, the seat of emotion, memory, impulse, and deep attraction. The 3 magic phrases we're breaking down today do exactly that. They're not cheap tricks. They're linguistic tools built on proven psychological principles. These phrases work because they leverage 3 core psychological laws. People crave to be seen, understood, and accepted for their true selves, flaws, depths, and all. When you demonstrate this understanding, you create profound emotional safety and connection. Once someone sees themselves acting or being perceived a certain way, they will unconsciously strive to remain consistent with that self-image. You can help shape that positive self-image, and our brains obsess over unfinished tasks, unresolved patterns, and open loops. By creating a positive, intriguing open loop about her own identity, her mind will work to close it by thinking about you. Remember this, delivery is key. This isn't about being manipulative, it's about being strategically genuine. The first and most instantly effective phrase is "you must be," followed by a deeply accurate emotional or situational observation. After she tells you about a stressful project, "That sounded intense. You must be feeling so relieved and proud now that it's over." When she's been caring for a friend or family member, after listening to them all that time, you must be feeling pretty drained, but also really good that you could be there for them. Noticing her resilience. With everything you're juggling and you're still smiling, you must be incredibly tough on the inside. This works because you're not just saying, "I hear you." You're saying, "I can cognitively model your internal emotional state and articulate it back to you." That makes her feel profoundly seen. Often, people, especially women who are socialized to be caregivers, dismiss their own fatigue or stress. By naming it, you give her permission to feel it. You become the person who understands her without her having to over-explain. And here's the key. When you say, "You must be so relieved," her mind confirms, "Yeah, I am relieved." That thought now has your voice attached to it. You are narrating her internal experience, linking yourself to her emotional world. But timing matters. Use this in moments of genuine emotional transition, after stress, after accomplishment, or when you notice a subtle shift in her energy. Do not use it randomly. If she says, "I had a burger for lunch," and you reply, "You must be so satisfied," that's not deep. That's creepy. Save it for moments that matter. The second phrase is, "I appreciate that about you." The key is that must refer to a specific, non-obvious quality of her personality or actions. Most people just wait for their turn to talk, but you actually listen and ask deeper questions. "I really appreciate that about you." When there's a problem, you don't just complain, you start thinking of solutions. "I appreciate that problem-solving mindset in you." You have strong opinions, but you express them without putting others down. That's a rare balance, and I appreciate that about you. This works because you're complimenting who she is, not just what she did. People fall in love with how they feel about themselves when they're with you. By praising her character, you make her feel like her best self around you. Once you label her as the kind of person who listens deeply, she will unconsciously want to live up to that identity in your presence. And notice this: I like that is casual. I love that is too much too soon. I appreciate that signals discernment, maturity, and value. It says you noticed something rare, and that sticks. The third phrase is the most powerful. You're the kind of person who. This is where identity gets activated. You're not just creative, you're the kind of person who sees potential where most people see a blank page. It's clear you're loyal. You're the kind of person who stands by your people even when it's not the easy choice. You're the kind of person who doesn't just dream about adventures, you actually plot them out and make them happen. This works because you're connecting her actions to a larger story about who she is. Her mind immediately starts processing. Is that how he sees me? Is that who I really am? Do I want to live up to that? That internal dialogue happens when you're not there, which means she's thinking about you. You're not just describing her present, you're hinting at her future, and that makes you feel like part of her journey. But this only works if it's grounded in truth. It must be an amplification of something you've genuinely observed. If it's fake, trust breaks. Now, let's see how this plays out in real life. She texts, "Just finished that huge presentation. I'm wiped." A weak reply ends the conversation. A strong reply joins her emotional state, deepens the moment, and keeps the connection alive. On a date, she talks about giving people second chances. Instead of agreeing passively, you validate her character and reflect it back as part of her identity. When she shares a dream, instead of warning her, you frame her fear as part of courage. Your tone matters. Your body language matters. Say these calmly, with steady eye contact. Then pause. Let it land. Now listen carefully. This isn't a manipulation manual. If you use these as lines, it will backfire. People sense inauthenticity at a subconscious level. The right mindset is curiosity and attention, not how do I make her think about me, but how do I understand her deeply. If you use this without genuine intent, you become forgettable. But if you use it to truly see someone, you become unforgettable. The most attractive skill is not a phrase, it's attention. These phrases are just vehicles for that attention. So remember, you must be, to validate her emotional experience. I appreciate that about you, to honor her character. You're the kind of person who, to shape identity and create lasting impact. Don't use all three at once. Pick one, listen deeply, use it when it's real, and watch how the conversation changes. Because attraction isn't created by chasing, it's created by understanding. And when someone feels understood, they remember you, always.